Welcome back to Nutty Nerds. I'm Tote.
And I'm Ginger.
And we're playing
Pokémon FireRed.
Pokémon FireRed.
Oh, damn it. Okay. So we looked it up. Yeah, and so he tells us there's a switch behind it if we didn't already bump into that guy before.
Yeah.
Apparently there's a guy in a house that has the coin case. So you just gotta find the right house. Because the freaking wiki wasn't helpful.
This is a hotel.
Yeah, because that's totally a hotel from the outside.
Yeah.
And then I looked up. So in order to get a EV to an Umbreon or an Espeon, which is my two favorite evolutions, you have to trade it to Ruby and Sapphire in order to do so, because it actually has an internal clock.
Just to figure out how to do that?
Yeah. So we may or may not have my favorite Pokemon in this, but we will have it Eevee. Oh, god damn it.
Sheesh.
Yeah. Then we're gonna go top down, checking things. Okay, nothing up here.
So have you checked out the Ted Bundy thing at all?
A
The
little
documentary,
bit.
the tapes?
A little bit.
So I'm like, excuse me. You know me, I watch all that true crime shit.
Yeah.
And so like I've watched a lot of stuff about serial killers back in the day, and I think it's funny how there's this whole thing going on right now because all these girls are like, oh, he's so dreamy. I'm like, he killed like 26 women or something like that.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous. But how could he possibly be a killer? Look at him. And it's like, yeah, that's why he was so scary, because he doesn't look like a killer. He's the last guy you suspect. He was converted to LDS, to Mormon, when he was hiding out in Salt Lake for a bit.
Oh, so that reminds me of like one of my favorite South Park episodes. So it's like they because in case you didn't know, Trey Parker and Matt Stone were Mormon. They didn't like how things were taught and stuff like that, so they left.
I think only one of them was.
Either way.
Yeah.
So they go about one particular episode is like a Mormon family moves into South Park and starts converting Randy Marsh. And so he starts telling the story of Joseph Smith finding the gold plates and translating them and whatnot, and it's just like the entire time it's like they're doing it like in a sing-song way. It's like Joseph Smith, dum 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 dum, he's so dumb. And then it goes through all this different stuff and telling the story of the gold plates in it. I don't want to, for those that don't know, it's it's a really weird story.
It depends on how you look at it.
It doesn't make a lot of sense in certain cases.
Well, it depends. It's like anything in the Bible or any religion. It all takes faith to believe it.
Okay, there it is. Yes, no, 100%. And mainly, I just don't like the people when it comes to religions, like any religion. They get too in your face about it. But anyways, so he goes on about this, like telling the whole story and whatnot, and it ends up going where like Stan flips out on like this kid that's like his age trying to be friends and stuff like that, and he's just like, hey man, look, you're an asshole. Whether or not they believe that, I don't really care. Whether they mainly teach about being nice in the home and to friends and family and being wholesome. Whether or not they believe that's true, I don't really care. I have my life because my family is Mormon and all this stuff. And it's just like, you're just cynical and being an asshole, so fuck you. And I'm like, that's true.
I would say it's like that with any religion.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Oh, so this is what I wanted to talk about. I told you earlier this is what I wanted to talk about. I couldn't remember what it was.
Did I just help you?
You totally just helped me get there. So, do you remember?
Let's play Slot Machine.
You haven't watched True Detective?
No.
Well, Matthew McConaughey.
No.
And I highly recommend that. So, there's just like, basically there's kids going missing, and that's what they start connecting all these cases. These kids have gone missing across Louisiana. And that's basically how they that's what the whole series, the whole first season's about. It's so good. Second season, third season's just started, so hopefully it's good. But that's what the first season's about. And there's a true story that it's based on partially. Like one of the stories that inspired it. And it's in this small town in Texas, I think. And there was this church, and then it was like, what were they called? They were like the Hosanna Church or something like that.
Yeah.
It's a little Christian church, and the preacher was just really like everyone loved him apparently. And then he got old and couldn't do it anymore, and he quit doing it. And then one of his sons took over, and then he had a falling out with his family, and like he drove away almost everybody, almost all the members of this congregation that he had. Then it got to the point where it was only like 10 or 15 like weird people combined, and they turned it into like when people talk about Satanists, this is what they were talking about.
Yeah.
It was like this like Satanist cult, and they're sacrificing cats and stuff, and he was the one doing it, right? The preacher's son, who's now the preacher, and then it had a pedophile ring.
Oh, goodness.
Right, and that's one of the things in True Detective. That's what they're kind of trying to bust open, and but what was funny about it? That's not funny, but the weird thing that was funny to me was. They were talking to. I was watching the thing about the real case, and reading newspaper stuff on it. You know, like because that's what I do. I start diving into it.
You get lost in one thing
in the details. And there's a guy who owned property right next to the church, and they were interviewing him, and he was talking about how like he, you know, when the dad was the preacher, and everyone was going like he had like, you know, like almost like 600 members or something at one point in this little church, and everything was fine, and then. When dad died and the son took over and drove away everybody, including like half the other ministers, it's like everything changed and they didn't get along anymore. And he was like, I just can't believe something like that was going on over there. You know, he's like, 'cause it doesn't make any sense to me because I'm a Catholic and we'd never. And I was like, you're Catholic? What's the number one joke about Catholic priests right now?
Yeah.
I was like, what are you talking about? It was so weird. Like he's just like, well, I'm not one of them. I'm a Catholic. I'm totally different.
I'm a good people's.
It's like, no, not really. It was so interesting. And then there's this other lady who owned a like a little Christian bookstore.
Yeah.
And she was talking about, it's like, it just blew our mind that something like that could happen in our town. I mean, look at all the churches we have. How could it happen? And it's like, that has nothing to do with it.
No,
there's nothing to do with that. I mean, there's just going to be bad people. It doesn't matter if you could have no churches in your town and have the same amount of bad people, or have all churches and have the same amount of bad people.
Yeah.
And there's good people and there's bad people, and most people are good.
Majority, yes, and but it's just like
there's that percentage.
I was like
of deviance.
To me, like to get on a religious subject, I don't know what to believe. I believe there is something out there. Because there's a lot of unanswered questions. Like, you know, everyone jokes about it, like, which came first, the chicken or the egg. It's just like, well, there's no.
Well, it depends, right? If you really go deep into it, you know, if you go from like, you know, evolutionary, then the egg came first.
Yeah.
Because there was two proto chickens, a different species that were almost chicken that mated, and then that egg hatched a chicken.
Yes, agreed.
But that egg was not necessarily a chicken egg. You know, so I don't know. Yeah.
But yeah, it's like there's no, you know, huge major documented stuff of that. So it's just like there are some unanswered questions.
Well, there are plenty. The biggest thing for me is like I have a friend who's
I'm like, agnostic is what I am.
I have a friend who's staunchly atheist, and he's to the point where for him it's like it's up to religion to prove it, not the other way. And I was like, no, it's not how it works.
No, it's really
you can neither prove nor disprove the existence of a god.
No, yeah.
Because if he is an all-powerful God, he can make it so you can't prove he's there.
Mm-hmm.
He can make you rely upon faith or whatever. The only way to know for sure is you're going to have to die, and then if there's an afterlife, it could even be a God, and there could be no afterlife. It's up to that God. It's whatever he wants, or she, or it, or whatever. So my whole thing is, I don't know what there is, what there isn't. But I'm just not putting any stock into any one.
Exactly.
Religion.
So like,
I'm not going to put all my chips down on one.
And so to me, like
yeah,
the people can like sully a religion to me. Just like that's what happened with me in the Mormon church. Just like people are too pushy.
See, I didn't really have that problem. For me, it was just I grew up and I was like, yeah, this doesn't add up. I mean, none of them really do.
No, they really don't.
So I was like, yeah, I'm done with this. I'm just not gonna. For me, it was like honestly, there was just like this stress thing. It was like this thing I had to do every Sunday. Go to this stuff, do these meetings, and I was like, why am I putting myself through this when I don't even believe it?
Yeah.
Like or at least I'm so unsure it's not worth it for me, so I just walked away from it. And it was the best thing ever for me. I just let it go. I think Bill Burr talks about it. He has a stand-up special. I think he was Catholic, and he talked about that. He's like it's fun to make fun of Scientologists.
Oh,
'Cause they're so
100%.
wacky. I mean,
Yeah.
say what you want about any Christian religion, man, Scientology is wacky. But at the end of the day, it's like, but is it really that much more wacky than believing that there was this virgin who had a child, and he's the son of God,
Immaculate
and
birth,
immaculate
and all-
birth,
yeah.
and that there's this guy who built an ark, and the whole world was flooded. I mean, that's pretty crazy if you think about it. Change a couple things around, say it's a spaceship, and all of a sudden it's crazy instead of a giant wooden boat.
Yeah.
So, and then you got freaking those like young Earth Christians that built one down in like South Carolina or whatever, or Tennessee, or I don't know where it's at, but it's just, I don't know. So it's like, just let it go. That's what I did. I just let it go. Why get into this, man? You're getting wrecked.
Yeah, they are a little higher than me, but the payoff is going to be great. Because unlike the original Pokemon Red and Blue, there's the only way to get into this town was like specifically triggered by something. But if you, it's gonna hurt. If you go to this one lady in one of the houses, she gives you some tea because like the gate guards preventing you to get into this city that we're in is like, he's always like, I'm so thirsty. Like, it was like, well, you have this tea here. Take this tea. He's like, that tea looks mighty delicious. Can I have that? And you're like, here you go. And he's like, all right, you can go on.
Huh.
And so, he's already paralyzed. I fucked that up.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, whoops.
So this might be a game over situation for Ginger here.
Uh-oh.
Because I don't think Midori is gonna survive this. But let's give it a shot.
Oh
Paralyzed. Oh, that might kill me.
no.
That killed me.
Oh.
All right, Eevee, time to shine. Which is gonna suck because these are fighting Pokemon, and Eevee is normal, means he takes 2 times damage from it.
Get that pocket sand. Oh.
That's got to be a KO if it's not. Oh,
Quick attack.
open for a paralyze.
Oh. Oh.
That was a normal attack, so we're good.
We got it. Oh.
Go Eevee.
That's gonna end this episode.
All right, everybody, that'll end this episode. Oh, for Gnarly Nerds. As always, I'm Tote.
And I'm Ginger.
We'll catch you guys next time.
Bye-bye. Hey, did you like that video?
Well, if you did, click the box on the right for another.
Click the box on the left for a playlist.
Of course, you could always just subscribe by clicking the link in the middle.
Come find us on social media.
There are links in the description below.
Don't be afraid to leave us a comment.
Thanks for watching. I'm Tote.
I'm Ginger. See you then.
Bye.